In the headlines, government takes action in a major commitment to provide housing and income support for victims of Monday's devastating fire in Silver Lake. Crime Stoppers reports over 50% increase in calls for 2016, and the Trafalgar Loda Road closed after major collapse on Wednesday. I am Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News. Details after this.
Join Channel 5 News as we take a look back at the major news events which shaped Dominica in 2016.
2016 saw the groundbreaking ceremony for construction of Dominica's new multi-million-dollar hospital.
The ruling Labour Party retained its suffrage seat in a by-election in July.
Dominica lost a friend in Cuban leader Fidel Castro.
And the World Health Organization declared Zika a global health emergency.
Join us as we review news events of the past year with guest presenter Farah Rock Korea.
December 30 and 31 at 8 p.m. with repeats on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 7th and 8th of January 2017.
Scenes from Monday night's blaze at Silver Lake. However, one less worry for residents of Silver Lake who lost their homes, as the state will take care of their needs. The widespread devastation has left 20 households burnt to the ground. Fire investigators were on the scene on Tuesday trying to determine the cause of the fire, but no word yet on that. On Tuesday, the people of Silver Lake were trying to come to terms with their loss as they attempted to see if there was anything left to recover. Some of them had to resort to sleeping in the unfinished apartment building in the community.
All of a sudden, I just see I cannot breathe. When I say I can't breathe, look around the place, I see fire. So I had to burst the door and just run out and start to send water.
I was playing some bingo, me and my friends and them. And then I leave and then I go and check my baby. When I go and check my baby, I hear people shouting, Glen O'Clock, Glen O'Clock, Glen O'Clock, your house on fire, Glen O'Clock, your house on fire. Myself, I stay in shock because I check in, I just come out by me, how my house can be on fire. When I do come, I see the house at time burned down, I couldn't save nothing. I lost all my things, all my trend things, lost everything.
I'm 25-year-old Jew Esther Prentice, single mother who live in a household with one. Lost my mattress, my stove and furniture. When I saw it, I just had nothing to do than grab one bag of clothes.
One man says the fire started at the home of his next-door neighbor.
My daughter was in the room and she called me, Daddy, Daddy, come and see that. When I go out in the room, I see smoke, smoke, smoke. So I burst the door, run outside, and that was it. 5 of us living at our home. My mother home destroyed, my sister home destroyed, my uncle home destroyed. Yeah, a good bit of my family lost all what they had. I cannot just say how the fire occurred, but to me that fire, boy, I don't even know how to say it, my brother. Yeah, but I don't even know what to say. It's too numerous right now. I don't want to give the fireman and them too much of a pressure, but to me, if that move much more aggressive and active, they would have saved a long house. They would have saved 8 homes. But the way they come on site, they were not that equipped. I don't want to give too much pressure on them.
The local government department is involved in processing the shelters for fire victims, while government sources rental properties for them. Many of them are now being housed at the Bath Estate Community Center. Channel 5 News spoke to the local government's commissioner, who was at the center on Tuesday.
Hopefully we will move to other shelters. We are looking at Fokole Community Center, most probably the Gota Community Center, and others. We have not confirmed yet. So as soon as we have numbers, because we're doing, right now it's estimates we are working by. So we are now in the process of doing a proper assessment. And once we have that in process, we will then move people to other shelters.
President of the Bath Estate Disaster Committee says efforts are ongoing to ensure the situation at the community center is comfortable for the people of Silver Lake.
They are sheltered, they are taking care of the children, the families are there, the names. We have nurses here, we have counselors there, we have doctors here doing what they have to do in the medical field to ensure the people are okay. One of our residents, the pressure was high as a result of that situation. You had another resident that was already hospital admitted and was discharged just about last week, and then he's readmitted in the shelter here, and the nurses are taking care of him, and the doctors, as I said, are there, and the counselors will be here soon to counsel the people.
In related news, government fulfilled a promise on Wednesday when it distributed $20,000 to assist those affected by the fire at Silver Lake. The cabinet decision to donate $1,000 to each of the 20 affected families follows a promise by Prime Minister Skerrit upon visiting the community with his wife and cabinet members on Tuesday. The heads of the affected families were presented with their checks on Wednesday morning at the Bath Estate Community Center. Government has proposed an income support allowance, accommodation at rental properties, and aid for school children affected by the fire.
One of the things I want to share, more so from experience post-Erica, we, as you notice, all of you sitting there are the head of the household. We will be making all of the distributions that we'll be making it to the head of the household. And we must all understand why it has to be like that. We cannot give the head, give the other spouse that is in the house. We will be giving one family twice. So in order to control and to bring order, we will be giving to the head of the household. When we give to the head of the household, we expect you to take care of every member in that household. You may put a daughter at somebody's home for better security, protection, and those kinds of things, but make sure that you share whatever you have with them. As it relates to the children, I can assure you by today, in fact, I have spoken to the Minister of Education and members of his staff, and we will ensure that these children are ready for school. So before the end of the week, everything will be in place for your children to have all of their supplies to go to school. So all of the contacts have been made.
In other top stories, the Trafalgar-Loda Road has been closed after half of the road collapsed about 100 feet on Wednesday morning. Trafalgar and Loda residents now have to travel via the Copthall to Waterhaven route to get to home. However, the Copthall Road has also been undermined, so motorists are asked to drive with caution. The Ministry of Public Works says it has been monitoring the situation at the Trafalgar and Copthall Junction since December 23rd, following a landslide in the area. Crime Stoppers Dominica is reporting an over 50% increase in calls as one of its highlights for 2016. Crime Stoppers is a program separate from the emergency telephone number system of the police, which allows a member of the community to provide anonymous information about criminal activity. In Dominica's case, the call goes to Canada and the information is then relayed to the relevant authorities here. Executive Director of Crime Stoppers Dominica, Diana Pascal, says the number of calls for 2016 grew significantly from 2015. She notes that public support for the program has improved immensely.
For the year to date, a total of 60 anonymous valid reports have been received by the Canadian-based call center compared to 39 reports last year. Reports received on all types of criminal activity, chief of which are domestic abuse, child abuse, and narcotics. We want to thank the public for their support in coming forward with information. The reports received have led to several arrests. In other instances, matters have been addressed through timely police intervention.
Another of the highlights for Crime Stoppers Dominica was the awarding of the Gary Murphy Global Mission Award. Despite this achievement, Crime Stoppers Dominica continues to be challenged financially.
Funding is very important for Crime Stoppers Dominica. Crime Stoppers Dominica is a not-for-profit organization, and it is funded mainly by the corporate community in Dominica. We do not receive any funds from the international community. So it's the general public, sometimes private persons, who make donations to Crime Stoppers Dominica. The funding goes towards advertising, administrative fees, and so on.
Crime Stoppers Dominica had also placed a special emphasis on young people through its walkthrough events in Grand Bay and Marigot and other youth involvement programs.
The feedback in these two communities was overwhelming, especially with the children involved. I think the children, they recognize that crime is an issue in their communities. Although they are at a very tender age, they recognize the concern. And we also want to target the children as much as possible because they are the future of tomorrow. And in as much as we can try to mold them and try to help them to live crime-free lives, it will be better for the Dominican economy and the Dominican public in years to come.
The plan for 2017 is to increase Crime Stoppers Dominica's fundraising activities and bring greater awareness of the program to communities around the island.
In terms of our plans for 2017, Crime Stoppers Dominica is hoping to beef up its fundraising efforts. We also hope to increase our school intervention and community outreach programs. We're hoping to hold seminars on effective crime prevention and also to erect a number of billboards across the island. It is also hoped that we'll be hosting a CDB-funded workshop on gender-based violence.
Coming up, we will tell you why 2016 is being described as a challenging year for the Bay Oil industry.
The Channel 5 2016 Sports in Review, where we take you back to memorable scenes in local, regional and international sports. The West Indies winning 3 T20 titles, Rama Caban with 3 facial dunks in the DABA League, and the Nature Boys match against Martinique in front of a huge home crowd. Join us for these sports and much more on December 30 and 31, with repeats on January 1, 2, 3, 7 and 8, 2017.
Thank you for staying with us. Challenging is the word being used to describe the Bay Oil industry during 2016. Following Tropical Storm Erica in 2015, the main distillery in Petit Savan was destroyed, and this dealt a devastating blow to the Bay Oil industry in Dominica. Earlier this year, government pledged $100,000 for the construction of 4 artisan distilleries. The European Union also came on board with the sponsorship for the construction of a distillery.
It has been still a challenge, but generally we're getting there. We have started repairing the artisan distilleries. Out of 8 which we intend to repair, we have 5 not complete, but then the building is complete, and we hope to do the upgrade on areas where you get a better yield from the leaves. That's the still itself. So hopefully in the new year we will focus on that.
August and December are the peak months for the Bay Oil farmers, and GIST notes that the production of Bay Oil is nowhere near where it used to be before Erica.
The yield now is not as much as we would have had if we had our own distillery. But the artisan distilleries still provide, normally during the months of November and December, persons look forward to harvest and distill and sell. Normally, if we had our own distillery, maybe we would look like purchasing like 6 to 8 drums. But now it would be like as if maybe between 3 and 4 drums now. It may be about 50%, 40% of the amount we would have gotten prior to Erica with our distillery on.
GIST pointed out that once the main distillery is constructed, things will be back on track for the country's Bay Oil industry.
We also are waiting patiently a response from government the relocation for the new distillery. We have preliminary designs already for that distillery, so as soon as we allocated the land, we will ensure from our designer to ensure that the lands and the designs are suitable, and then from there we'll blueprint, send for planning approval, and we're good to go. If in 2017 it accelerates itself a little bit, we can get the land early in January, and then the designs, get the planning approval, it means we can start construction by the middle of 2017, and sometime in 2018 have the grand opening of the new distillery.
There is a total of 8 artisan distilleries on the cards, namely 2 in Dalis, 2 in Bagatelle, 1 in La Plaine, 1 in Petit Soufriere, 1 in Petit Savan, and 1 in Grand Bay. The Operation Youthquake will need additional resources if it is to continue accepting more young people into the institution. The home, based in Savannah, York, is caring for 14 young people, although it has a capacity to house 18 residents. Lennox Abraham, who is director of the Home for At-Risk Youth, says he does not think it is a good idea to increase the resident population.
One of the things that we have always said is that we would like to give each of the young person under our care quality time. And if you increase the number of participants or residents, we will not be able to do that. We have a capacity now to hold 18 children, and I hope it never reaches 18. We want them to have the quality time that they would have within a family. And remember, it's an institution, so we have to make it as homely as possible for them so that they don't feel that it's an institution where they are locked in.
For 38 years, Operation Youthquake has been providing a rehabilitation service for delinquent youth aged 12 to 18 years.
We prefer that they refer children here to Operation Youthquake because, you know, we have to try to break the thing that a parent, if they have some problems at home with their child, they think they can just bring the child here. So we allow it to go to welfare. Welfare will do the initial assessment and they will place them here if they need that kind of assistance. Generally, we look after their well-being. We provide them with a meal. We ensure that they go to school. We ensure that when they come back here in the afternoon, they do their educational work. For the sake of the children, I would not be able to go into details, but let's just note that they are here for all sorts of reasons.
Looking ahead into 2017, Abraham anticipates approval of a proposal to government for an increase in subvention. The institution currently receives about $139,000 annually from government.
It's not as much as we want at present, but we are hoping we are hoping that it will increase in 2017. We have prepared the proposals for them, so we hope it will be very successful when it reaches government. If it wasn't for the assistance of the government, Operation Youthquake would be history. And we want to thank the government, especially the Prime Minister. And one of the things we can say about the Prime Minister is he cares about the less fortunate in our society.
And Soufriere resident Amelia Ferrara is Miss Noel 2016. Ferrara copped 4 awards on Friday, which are Miss Photogenic, Best Talent, Best Casual Wear, and Best in Party Dress. First runner-up went to Michaela John Baptist, and the second runner-up, Shamira Gervier. Akela Francis copped the Miss Amity Award. The People's Choice Award went to Michaela John Baptist, who received the most likes on the photographer's Facebook page. Alison George won Miss Noel 2014. Last year's show was cancelled due to Tropical Storm Erica. That's news. Your sports highlights next with Kenny Williams.
First up in sports, Chester Later dominated the final cycling event of the year as he zoomed past the finish line in 59 minutes and 29 seconds on Monday. He says the other racers made him work for the win.
You know, Levi is a very, very strong rider, and my strategy was basically to just keep behind him and see what happens at the end. But those guys started off so quick, I really had to struggle to keep up with them on the way to Layo, you know, and once I got the lead, I kept pushing. It was very difficult, but at the end I made it, man.
The DCA PRO says the competition would have been more intense with the participation of locally renowned cyclist Hayden Mills.
To be quite honest, I wish he was here. Because, you know, you want to race against the best. You want to keep measuring yourself against the best. So I missed him today. I remember the first race he won by 12 minutes. So it would be interesting to see how it would have been. Maybe he would have won by 5, you know, and at least you can judge yourself and see your progress.
Meantime, Levi Barron noted improvements in his performance in round 2 when compared to the first race. He finished second in 1 hour and 2 minutes.
It's a good feeling, I'll be honest, because if you were at the last race, I still haven't finished it, all right? So I'm still looking to finish the last race, and I came out second this one, so I'm not mad at all. It could have been a lot closer. We were head to head, all right? And then Vickert came and stopped right at the front of me. And if you ride in, you know that when you have the momentum going and you stop, it is kind of difficult for you to catch back what you had going.
Kim Williams finished third in 1 hour and 3 minutes in the senior category. Meanwhile, president of the local cycling body also took part in the race.
Well, I feel it much better than the last time, I must admit. The last time around, I think I went off my bike maybe more than 10 times. This time I did not get off my bike, so I feel very proud of myself.
The cyclists in the youth division with performances of note were Omaya Amor, 1 hour and 5 minutes, and Zarek Peltier, 1 hour 6 minutes. The next cycling race is carded for January 2017. The Boxing Day race was from Roseau to Layu and back. Moving on to track and field, where Mitchell Davis, Romelcia Phillip, Jabez Ferrara and Keva Pierre dominated track and road race events in the Who's the Boss competition on Boxing Day. Davis, a national sprinter, won the 100 meters, cruising to the finish line in front of supporters at Windsor Park. He specializes in the 400 and 200 meter races, but clocked 10.7 seconds in the 100 meter event, followed by Danielson Mahote 10.8 and Brett Evans 11.1. In the female category, Romelcia Phillip came first in 13.3 seconds. Second place went to Jada Scotland and third, Tia George. Meantime, in the road race event, Jabez Ferrara came first in a time of 18 minutes and 43.3 seconds. Rick Timothy next on 19 minutes 51.5 seconds, and Devon Harris 22 minutes 18.4 seconds. Keva Pierre came first in the female category. Taking a look at international cricket, Stephen Cook's third test century moved South Africa into a dominant position on day 3 of their test against Sri Lanka with a lead of 432 runs with 5 wickets remaining on Wednesday. South Africa took first knock and made 286 all out. Jean-Paul Domini added 63 and Stephen Cook 59. The Sri Lankan side replied with 205 all out, with the only batsman of note being D. De Silva's 43. In the second innings, South Africa reached 351 for 5 at the end of day 3. Stephen Cook smashed 117 while Dean Edgar chipped in with 52. Meantime, Australia trailed by 165 runs with 8 wickets in hand in the first innings of the second test against Pakistan on Wednesday. Pakistan opened the batting and scored 443 for 9 declared. Azhar Ali smashed a double century with 205, including 24s. In reply, Australia reached 278 for 2 at the end of day 3. David Warner scored 144 and Usman Khawaja 95 not out. That's all the sporting highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us again next.
Your weather forecast is next.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am Janet Macpherson. Infrared satellite images today showed some low-level clouds across the eastern Caribbean today. Visible satellite imagery showed partly cloudy to cloudy skies were observed across Dominica. Radar imagery indicated a few isolated showers across parts of the island chain. The weather for tonight, partly cloudy to cloudy and breezy with a few scattered showers. These conditions are expected to continue into tomorrow, with temperatures peaking up to 30 degrees Celsius. Seas tomorrow moderate in open water, waves up to 8 feet. Small craft operators and sea bathers are advised to exercise caution. Looking ahead for the next 3 days, the weather is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy and breezy with a few scattered showers. Throughout the Caribbean tomorrow, a high-pressure system will generate partly cloudy to cloudy skies and some scattered showers. On the International Cities forecast, some rain expected in New York, partly cloudy conditions in Miami and Beijing, some clear skies expected in London, partly cloudy skies and some scattered showers expected in Caracas. Sunrise tomorrow at 6:31 a.m. and sunset at 5:45 p.m. For up-to-date weather information, please visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for viewing and have a good night.
To end the news, the headlines again. Government takes action in a major commitment to provide housing and income support for victims of Monday's devastating fire in Silver Lake. Crime Stoppers Dominica reports over 50% increase in calls for 2016, and the Trafalgar-Loda Road closed after major collapse on Wednesday. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Andrea Louis, and to all our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us tomorrow.